why you should buy a Kreo mouse. Customer service could be better, hiring interns. But where did my journey start?
To work on the software.
How do you convince people to buy from you rather than someone directly to a brand which specializes in it and has proven products?
Hey folks, this is Ishan. I'm the founder and CEO of Kreo, and today I'm going to be answering all the questions that you asked during our Reddit AMA and our last video where we introduced a bunch of new products via YouTube. These are across the board, from new product launches, general questions, very funny ones as well. We got around 100,000 views on the Reddit AMA, 400 plus engaging comments. On YouTube, we're nearing around 10,000, I think, views. And at the same time, there was another 300 comments that came through. So hopefully a lot of the things should be answered here. Okay, so why you should buy a Kreo mouse versus any VXC mouse? Simple answer, I would say, is obviously the performance is very, very similar. A 5 to 10% cost difference, you are actually paying for the experience. Any issue that happens once you receive the product, you can directly DM me, you can email me, and I would answer it in roughly a few minutes. At the same time, our team would ensure that if there's any issues, we can get the product replaced very, very quickly. So more than anything, I mean, obviously we would want to reduce price over time, which we will. We will get it closer to those levels, but we can ensure that you're paying at least to get a much better after sales experience once you've received the product. Cool. So on the next question, which I think a lot of people have mentioned, that the customer service could be better. Absolutely. So we've taken a bunch of steps for actually making this a lot better. We've hired 2 to 3 new members in the team who are well educated when it comes to gaming equipment and peripherals. At the same time, we've implemented AI across the board on WhatsApp and other chat platforms to ensure that your replies are quicker. Rest assured that even if you do call on a Saturday, there will be someone or something that should give you a response. And it goes without saying, if it's something which is extremely urgent, my DMs are open. I will personally look at it if there's an issue. Now, obviously, we could be the best and also provide voice support on Sundays as well, but we need to give our team a break as well. I hope you understand. So yes, we are always hiring interns, but I will give you a priority of the kind of interns we're looking for. The number one priority are R&D interns. What I mean by this is firmware engineers, embedded engineers, software engineers, people who can work with drivers, people who can work on PCBs, people who understand electrical engineering. Those are the main interns that we're looking for. From a marketing point of view and editing point of view, we're always looking for good talent. So if you do have some suggestions or you want to work with us on something small as well, I would urge you to send some examples of what your rendition of a Kreo product or a Kreo creative, which could work well, and our marketing team will look at it and assess if you'd be a great fit as an intern. At the same time, for people who are in college and do not get concrete internships with us, I would urge that you actually work with the KCAP program, which is the Campus Ambassador program, which we run with around 90 plus colleges at the moment. That should give you exposure to a lot more when it comes to community building. Where did my journey start? Interesting question. My journey professionally, I mean, if we take a step back personally, I've always been in gaming. My first game that I played was probably Dave 3D. After that, I moved into Prince of Persia and a few more smaller 2D games. Over time, I started really playing on a PS1. I was playing a lot of Tony Hawk Pro Skater. After that, I moved on to a lot of FPS games, mostly played Doom 2, played a lot of Delta Force 4, and played that very annoying cricket game which everyone knows about. Formally moved up the ranks and started playing more concrete games such as CS 1.6 and Unreal Tournament. 2004, that was the most OG Unreal Tournament ever launched, and probably one of my favorite games till date. Moved on to Quake 3. So the story is that I've always been in gaming. I've always loved it. I still play it. Obviously, my favorite games right now are some things which people don't like. I play a lot of finals. But story starts from there when it comes to gaming. How I got into this is a mix of things. I've always been in business. I was earlier in consulting and venture capital business. I didn't really see a lot of goodness come out of it. I didn't see a lot of impact being created. And after working in a few consumer startups, took a call that, you know what, I think it's starting something of my own, and saw a big gap when it came to just gaming peripherals. I remember me assembling my own desktop PC after bugging my parents in grade 9 or 8. And I just remember things being really expensive and not really getting support back then. I could see a similar situation now because I bought a very renowned international product recently and had a very similar experience. So just saw that, you know what, I think it makes sense to start something. And how I decided on this was purely a mix of interest and opportunity. Okay, so the next question is what's next at Kreo? What I would say is that you can visit this video. It answers everything what's next. What's next to next is something which we will give a sneak peek on in a month's time. So there is absolutely no dropshipping done here. We put a lot of time and focus on our product to really develop something which is groundbreaking. Obviously, there's a bunch of components that are assembled in China. I will not deny that. But we are focusing a lot right now to actually get these made in India. I've broken down a bunch of things over here which really tell you about all the smaller components which go into building a product here. Obviously, it's easy to assemble and really bring down sub-components, start assembling here. But our goal will be to really start manufacturing. Now, that involves a lot of steps. This is all the way from injection molding when it comes to plastic, from actually creating a tool meaning how the shape etc. should look for a product, which can go upwards of 50 to 60 lakh in India. So, and the machinery which goes into actually testing a product, like switches for instance, switch making requires a different factory and a setup altogether. The housing for a keyboard requires a different factory altogether. PCB manufacturing requires a whole setup altogether. So there's a bunch of components which are already working on, all the way from getting PCBs done, fabricated here, SMT, which is actually placing all the components on the PCB, getting switches made elsewhere. So there's a bunch of things that we're working on which will eventually lead to us completely building it up in India. But I can assure you that this costs a lot of money. We're on the path to get that done. And it's only because of people like you that we're able to even get to that level. And rest assured, that's something which we're working on every single day. On the entire product R&D, we will also make more videos of how we go about actually thinking about a product. All the way from ideating what we want to do to actually creating it, and then going about pricing and how we even make money off of it if we have to. And it's very slim, trust me. So we'll break that down in more videos to really address the fact that, hey, does Kreo even think about a product, or are they just picking things up from elsewhere? We'll break that down for you all, so you'll really know the thought that goes behind doing this. This is something which I absolutely agree with. There's a bunch of things that go behind the scenes when fixing this. Our goal in the next 6 months to 8-9 months is to build a hub for all products. Goes without saying that that's something which all of us want, and that's a gold standard that we also want to reach. What we're doing behind this is something which I had already answered before, which is hiring a bunch of engineering interns to actually rewrite code at a product level, at a firmware level, through which then we can start connecting the dots for each and every product on the front end. So there's a lot of firmware building, rebuilding that needs to happen, which also means reselection of chips, redoing the PCB for almost every product, and then redesigning the software for every single product. So it's in our roadmap, and we will also put that out very transparently on how we're going about it. But yes, in the next 6 to 9 months, our goal is to build a hub for all products so that you can have a mother hub to control everything. That's a good question. So we are in the works to launch an artisanal mousepad, something which all the pros would instantly start using. And it's of a good size and shape, which people have been asking for. I'm not dropping more hints towards that. Now, when it comes to Hall switches and magnetic keyboards, again, in the works. Patience is all I ask for, because even we're quite excited about this one. Yes, Hall switches, magnetic, rapid trigger. We've been listening to all sorts of comments over there. But like how the wireless keyboard took some time, this one might take some more time just because it's a very, very specific product, niche product, and it has extremely special features. But I would love to get comments from everyone on what sort of size would they want for a Hall effect / rapid trigger keyboard. I think that's a very valid question. So our product philosophy is to stick to just 2 or 3 products, parent SKUs, and then redevelop / improve on each of these. Now, you're right to ask that what are we specializing in? Well, the thing is, we're specializing in India. India as a market, and Indian gamers have a varied bunch of needs. We've spoken to quite a few of these users to really understand that there's someone who requires a keyboard, there's someone who requires a gaming headphone. Now, we could take a conscious call to launch these over 3 or 4 years, but we've taken a conscious decision to address every gamer's needs from the get-go. That is the reason why we've gone for singular products or singular parent SKUs across these categories. Now, rest assured, there's not going to be obscure categories coming out in the near future, but we'll stick to producing parent SKUs in each of these categories. So even with gaming headphones, there might just be 2 or 3 more, and obviously they would compete against the companies that have been mentioned, which are HyperX, Sennheiser, Razer, and we will try our best to actually compete against them. We really respect companies such as HyperX, Logitech, and Razer, and that is a dream that we'd want to get to. I mean, who knows? At some point, we'll also be doing handhelds and consoles. Again, a very valid point, and that's something which our team is already working on. We are already sending products to international reviewers, and from the first day itself, we had set out a target to be a global brand. Obviously, we will be producing a lot of products in India soon, and we would want to be the best global gaming brand that exists. And yes, we are already in touch with a few international reviewers to get some reviews done. We have sent a few products to international reviewers. Let's see what they think about it. That point is music to my ears. Trust me, because it correctly tells you on what it takes to build a gaming product, a peripheral over here. We will be doing a few more videos and a video series on what it costs to actually make a product here. That should give you more insight and a lot more understanding on what it takes to build something.